Hi, my name is Sasha. Welcome back to my channel, Sash Reads. This is going to be the worst books and the most disappointing books of 2025. I'm going to separate them into two. You'll see my worst books first, and then you'll see my most disappointing books second. So I will put timestamps down below if you want to skip to disappointing books. I read a total of 180 books in 2025. I have 8 books here to talk about, but these are ones that I just did not like. They may have got like a 2 or a 2.5 star, but I just wasn't a fan. So let's get into it. First book is Christmas Deadline by Pam Binder. This is an arc I got from Nat Galley way back when I started requesting, so probably about 5-6 years ago now. This was one that I could not get into. I'm pretty sure I think I even DNF'd it, or I like speed read the last 100 pages, maybe last 50 pages, because I just did not care about these characters and they were just really annoying and I was getting bored, I was getting tired. So yeah, not a great book. I think if I remember correctly, this is a book where the main character, she's an author, I believe, and she has to go to the UK to like get some inspiration for her new book. This might be completely out of left field because you know what? I really could not care about the plot. It felt like a Christmas Hallmark movie. It was genuinely bad and I just didn't care. The steamy scenes were a bit weird too. And yes, do not recommend reading this book. Next book we have is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. Once again, I don't think Emily Henry books are romance. They should not be categorized as romance. They should be categorized as women's fiction. I really preferred the non-romance plot of this book where they were finding out about this woman's history and the family affairs and everything. I really loved that. I really enjoyed that. But the romance part of this was just, I don't know. I don't even know, man. I think it was advertised as enemies to lovers, but he didn't even knew that she existed, for starters. It was like Grumpy Sunshine, which that made sense. I don't know. I go in thinking I'm gonna like an Emily Henry book, and the only one I really did like, I gave Book Lovers 5 stars. I loved that book, and Beach Read was 4 stars, but everything else I've read by this author has been a 2 or 3 star, and maybe that's okay. I haven't read Happy Place yet. I have a feeling that one might be a good one for me, and even People Meet on Vacation. I have a feeling I like that one too, but these new ones that she's bringing out, I'm just not a fan. It's a no from me. The sun keeps going in behind clouds and then coming back out, so yay me. Next one is one that is beloved by everybody, and that is okay. It wasn't for me, but that is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by whoever that's by. Everybody knows who that book. This was one of Liv's favorite book and actually was her rec for me for 2025, and I read it and I just didn't like it. It did feel very white saviory. It just wasn't good. I'm sorry. The main character was really annoying too. I finished it, but I will not be continuing on with this series. No way. Also, who just goes into, you're a teenager, right? And you're going into this house you think is a murderer or a drug dealer, and you're like, I'll just waltz on in and get more clues. Like, no, you are going to die. Next one is really funny because this author has one of her books on my best books of 2025. But the one that I didn't like from this author is An Unexpected Paradise by Chelsea Curto. This, I have realized I like my romance with some sort of tension, with some sort of like, something is happening and these two keep getting like torn apart, or they are not meant to be together but they want to be together. I like that sort of feeling, but there was no outsideness happening. Like, it was just these two falling in love. And like, I love that for them, but it just wasn't for me. Also, she kept going on how he hates her, he doesn't like her, when it was so obvious from the start that he did like her. He kept all the coffee cups. He kept all the coffee cups, girl. Like, make it make sense. Anyway, just, this one was not, I didn't like this one. Which, yeah. Look, there was a scene where they do it in like in a hotel, like up against the window, and people were watching them, and that was kind of hot, but that was like the only redeeming point of this book. Next is one of the books I read for Do Your Worst, which was my vlog with Jan Agaton. I'll link that down below. But that is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. Was that her name? Is that Rachel Gillig or is it somebody? Anyway, I don't like this one. I just wasn't a fan of any of it, to be honest. I just felt like it needed something more. I don't know what it could be, but it needed something else because it just wasn't good. I did listen to the audio and that might be why I didn't like it, but I don't want to read all those words with my eyeballs either because just, I don't know. I'm definitely not going to be continuing with the series. I do know I wish, like, I thought the romance was going to be between the main character and the demon thing in her head, but it wasn't, and that I think was the worst part for me because it was with the guy. Ew, guys. Okay, coming up to top 3, we've got Welcome to the Hernam Dong Bookshop. I did not like this book. I knew I wasn't gonna like this book, but I read it anyway. I don't think I like cozy translated bookshop mysteries because I really didn't like The Cat Who Saves Books, and this one also had a cat. Did it have a cat? No, I don't think this one had a cat, but it was just, I just did not care about these people, about this bookshop. I just didn't care. And unfortunately, if I'm not gonna vibe with the book, I'm not gonna like it. And that's okay. I tried again. I wanted to try again and I realized like this genre just isn't for me. And cool, I'm glad I know that now so I don't have to go into that in 2026. Coming up to second worst book of the year, and that is Never Ever Getting Back Together by Sophie Gonzalez. This book, the premise sounded so good. I was so excited and it just wasn't executed well at all. This is about a girl who goes onto a reality show to win her ex back that she didn't want to win back for starters. And then she meets another girl on there who is actually the girl that he cheated on her with, and falls in love with her instead. That sounded so good, right? But no, I did not like it. I feel like they didn't even really talk. There was no communication. And I thought I liked reality TV show books, and maybe I do, just not this one. Not this one. I would not recommend this one at all, unfortunately. And then last but worst book on this list for 2025 is Wolf Song by TJ Klune. Fuck this book. I have a whole vlog, if you want to go watch it, where I rant and I do not like this book. I just don't, and I'm so sorry to the people who do, but it's just, it was the age gap that got to me. It was, if they had met when the younger person was in their 20s, that would have been fine. But he was like 10 or 11. I don't know. He was young. And it was weird. You get the story, the POV through Ox, who's the older character, and he never saw old mate, like he never saw young mate like that until he was like 17 or something. But still, 17 is a bit icky. And the love interest was so fucking annoying. There's a portion of the book where the love interest isn't there, and that was the only part of the book that I liked because Ox was like trying to figure out how to lead, and it was like his found family moment, and it was really good. I really enjoyed that, but I can't even remember the kid's name, but I just didn't like him. I didn't like the relationship, and yeah, I just didn't like it. I do want to continue on this series though, because it's not going to be about Ox and what's his face, the next book. It's about the brother and the witch. I believe, which does sound interesting. It's going to be like a second chance. I just wasn't a fan of this book, the love interest, and Ox, and the writing too. Like, he just keeps repeating himself, and I'm like, are we meant to think Ox is like slow, or is this just bad writing? Like, I couldn't figure it out, but I just wasn't a fan, and yeah, I just don't like this book. So yes, that is the 8 worst books that I read in 2025. And if some of these are your favorite books, that's okay. I know some of these are my friends' favorite books and we're still friends. So as long as you don't try to talk to me about it, then we'll be fine. So I just filmed my worst books. But yes, I wanted to split up my worst books and disappointing books because some of these weren't bad. I just had higher hopes for them. So let's get into it. The first book on this list is Because of Me by Devon May. This is an indie book. I think it's the 3rd book in her Because of Love series. And I had high hopes for it. I really did. This was going to be a like fake dating, friends to lovers sort of thing, which I'm really all here for. But I don't know, something just fell flat. The main character, it feels like she was only made bisexual to cater to the queer people. Like, I understand, if you're bisexual, you can still love, like, still be in love with a man, but it just didn't really feel like there was any. I don't know, when I was reading the book, I was like, this feels a bit like, I can't remember the word, but it just felt like it was just catering to queer people. Also, this whole book fell flat. Like, I really enjoyed books 1 and 2 in this series, but this 3rd one just wasn't it for me, and I'm so sorry to say that. But that's okay. You can't love every book in a series, but yeah, this one just wasn't it. I'm hoping to read Higher Ground by this author that comes out soon, and it's an age gap. Like, I think it's ex-boyfriend dad as well, which sounds really good. So I'm very excited to pick that one up. Next we have Lucky Hit by Hannah Cowan. This is a hockey romance, and I realized this year I probably sound like a broken parrot because I said this in my last video. But I like my romance with a little bit of tension, with a little bit of like outside forces making sure these two don't get together. And this book had none. It was just like this really sweet romance between this girl and this hockey player. He was about to get drafted maybe. There was like some pictures I think that may have been circulated, but they communicated really well and it worked out, which is cool. I love that. But it just, I'm like, oh yes, some tension, something to get this book like interesting, and no, nothing. But that's okay. I enjoyed the second book because it was like best friend sister romance, or like brother's best friend romance. So I like that little bit of like, oh, I have to keep it a secret sort of thing. But yes. Book number 4 on this list is Seducing Scylla by Lex Logan. I had high hopes for this one, but I'm not quite sure why. I just wasn't really the biggest fan of it, unfortunately. I don't know if it's because it took me 2 tries to read, so you can't say that I didn't give it a red hot go. But this is about a librarian who gets kidnapped and she's like gonna get trafficked, but there's an accident and then she ends up getting saved by this like kraken, this female kraken, and also like the kraken lays eggs in the human, which was a bit different. But yeah, unfortunately I wasn't a biggest fan, and that sucks because I love the author. She's so sweet, she's so kind, but I just wasn't a fan of this book, and that's okay. Book number 3 is Haunt Sweet Home. I read this for the Do Your Worst vlog, and it just wasn't, I don't know, it sounded so good. The synopsis is so good. It's about this girl who gets this job on a like ghost hunter, like haunted home reality show. She has to make the hauntings because like obviously they're not really haunted. But then she meets this girl and it's very interesting, and I was hoping something would happen and it just felt like nothing really happened, which sucks. But that's okay. I'm hoping to read another book like this that's executed better. But yeah, it just wasn't Oh, I know what I could put on this list. Sky Daddy by Kate Falk. I had high hopes, such high hopes. This book sounded so good and I read it and I was like, what the fuck was that? That ending just, I hated that ending. Why was that the ending? Like, ugh. Like, the rest of this book was really good, but then the ending, I was like, I hated that ending and I don't ever want to read anything by this author again, which is so silly. But yeah, wasn't a fan of that ending of Sky Daddy, but I still kind of want people to read this book so I can see like their perspective of it. Sky Daddy does deserve a place on this list. And then last but not least, I'm so sorry, Sarah, but City of Gods and Monsters is the most disappointing book that I read in 2025. I just did not care for this book. I'm so sorry. It was so long and the characters were really like, they just had to pick the most silliest choices to make. And I'm like, girl, do something better. Like, I don't think it needed to be that long. And also it did really feel like a Crescent City ripoff. And just like Crescent City, the first quarter and the last quarter were amazing. It's just that half in the middle that sucked. And it was too freaking long. Too long. It could have been so much shorter and still taken your point across. That is the top, 14 books of 2025 that I thought were either bad or disappointing. Let me know down below what was your most disappointing book of 2025 and what was your worst book you ever read in 2025. I would love to know. If you did get to the end of this video, pop a moon emoji in the comments below if you have nothing else to say. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you see more videos by me. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Bye.